Finnegans Wake. Part 1. River run past Eve and Adams from swerve of shore to bend of bay brings us by a commodious vicus of recirculation back to Howth Castle and environs. Sir Tristram, violet d'amour over the short sea, had Passencore re-arrived from North Armorica on this side the scraggy isthmus of Europe Minor to wilder fight his peninsulate war, nor had Top Sawyer's rocks by the stream Oconee exaggerated themselves to Lawrence County's gorgios while they went Dublin their mumper all the time. Nor a voice from a fire bellowsed mish-mish to toff-toff thwart Pietrick, not yet, though Venice soon after. Had a kid scad butt-ended a bland old Isaac, not yet, though all's fair in Vanity, where Sosie Sethers wroth with Trone Nathan Joe. Rod a peck of pa's mott had Jim or Shin brewed by Arclight and Rory into the Regenbrow was to be seen ringsome on the aqua-face. The fall. Baba Dagaraga Takamanerakan Brun Tanaran Tuan Thun Trovara Hun Wanskan Tuhu Hordinatharanak of a once Wall Street old par is retailed early in bed and later on life down through all Christian minstrelsy. The great fall of the off-wall entailed at such short notice the fifth shoot of Finnegan, ere sullen man, that the Humpty Hill head of himself promptly sends an unquarying one well to the west in quest of his tumty-tum toes, and there upturned Pike Point in place is at the knock out in the park where oranges have been laid to rust upon the green since Devlin's first loved Livy. What clashes here of wills gen wants, oystery gods, gaggin, fishy gods? Brakek, kek, cooks, ualu, quo. Where the Battlearies partisans are still out to Master Malicus Micranus and the Vordons, catapulting the cannibalistics out of the hoity-boys of Hoodie Head? Assygates and Boomerang Stroms, Sod's brood be me fear. Sanglorian save, arms appeal with larms appalling. Killy, atoll, what chance cuddlies, what cashels aired and ventilated, what Bitametaloves seduced by what tegatib solvers, what true feeling for their hair, with what strong voice of false chick-up. Oh, here, how Howth sprawled, met the dusk the father of fornicationists, but, oh, my shining stars and body, how hath fain spanned most high heaven the sky sign assault advertisement? But was is oot? Ere were sewers. The oaks of all now they lie in peat, yet elms leap or asks lay. Foul if you but will, rise you must, and none so soon either shall the farce for the nonce come to a set-down secular finish. Big Mr. Finnegan of the stuttering hand, Freeman's marrer, lived in the broadest way immarginable in his rushlet too far back for missuasions before Joshua and Judges had given us numbers, or Helviticus committed Deuteronomy. One yeasty day he sternly struck his teat in a tub for to watch the future of his fates, but ere he swiftly stuck it out again, by the might of Moses, the very water was evaporated, and all the Guinnesses had met their exodus, so that ought to show you what a Pinchanjuchi chap he was. And during mighty odd years this man of hod, cement, and edifices in Topper's Thorpe piled bildung supra bildung upon the banks for the livers by the sowing sow. He 'ad a little fiffy, Annie ugged the little crather, with her hair and Hans tuck up your part in her. Oft while Bob was mithra ahead with goodly trowel and grasp and ivory-oiled overalls which he habitually fond seed, like Harun, Choderic Egbert, he would caligulate by multiplicables the altitude and multitude until he seesaw by neat light of the liquor wheretwin 'twas born, his roundhead staple of other days, to rise and undress masonry upstanded, joy granted, a Walworth of a skyscape of most Eiffel hoith and towerly, arrogating from next to nothing and celescating the himmels and all, hierarchitect of top to optical, with a burning bush a bob of off its bobble top, and with Lawrence O'Toole's clearing up and tombers of buckets clattering down. Of the first was he to bear arms and a name, Wassily Buslav of Riesingborg, his crest of heraldry, invert with ancillars, troublants, argent, a hegoke, pursuivant, horrid, horned, his scutchum fest, with archers strong, Helio of the second, hooch is for husbandman hangling his hoe. Ho, 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 Mr. Finn, you're going to be Mr. Finn again, come a day morn, oh, you're vine. Sundays even, ah, you're vinegar. Ha ha ha, Mr. Fun, you're going to be a fine again. What then, agent-like, brought about that tragedy Thunder's Day, this municipal sin business? Our cube house still rocks his ear witness to the thunder of his Arafatas, but we hear also through successive ages that Shebi Chorush of unqualified muslin and Mishla hymns that with black god eyes the white stone ever turtled out of heaven. Stay us wherefore in our search for tightness. O sustainer, what time we rise and when we take up to toothmick and before we lump down upon our leather bed and in the night and at the fading of the stars. For a nod to the Nabir is better than wink to the Wabsanti. Other ways, west ways, like that Provost scoffing Bedouin, the Jebel, and the Gypsian sea. Crop herb, the crunch bracken shout aside. Then we'll know if the feast is a fly day. She has a gift of seek on sight, and she all casually Ansar's helpers, the dreamy dearie. Heed, heed! It may have been a misfired brick, as some say, or it mought have been due to a collapsus of his back promises, as others looked at it. There extant by now 1,001 stories, all told, of the same. But so sordid Abe, Ites, Ivies, Halliard Abels, what with the Walhall's hordes of Ross Wrights, Carhacks, Donegans, Kistvains, Tromtrees, Fargo Ballers, Autokenotons, Hippohobiles, street fleets, turning taxes, megafogs, circuses, and wards moats, and Basilurkirks, and Arapagods, and the hoist, and the Jolly Brule, and the Peeler, and the Coat, and the Mecklenburg bitch bite is at his ear, and the Merlin Burrow Burrocks, and his 4 old poorcoats, the Boar, the Moor, and his black working stacks at 12 pence a dozen, and the newbie buses slating along Safety First Street, and the dairy jelly bees snooping around Tell No Taylor's Corner, and the fumes and the hopes and the strump-to-tump of his Ville's indigenous roam keepers, home sweepers, dome creepers, Thurum and fancy mud marum, and all the uproar from all the roofs, a frew for many and a reef for Hugh, but under his bridge suits Tony, wan warning Phil, tippling full. His howled field heavy, his hotted did shake. There was a wall, of course, in erection. Dim, he started from the ladder. Damn, and he was dud. Dumb, master batam, when a man marries his lute is all long, for whole the world to see. Shies? I should she, Makul, ora why did ye die of a trying Thursday morning? Sobs they sided at Finnegans Wake, all the hooligans of the nation prostrated in their consternation in their duodecimally profuse plethora of ululation. There was plums and grooms and cherubs and citherers and raiders and cinnamon too. And they all again and with a shout most joviality, Agog and Magog and the round of them agrog, to the continuation of that celebration until Hannigan's extermination. Some in Kinkin Caras, more Kenkin Keenan. Belling him up and filling him down. He's stiff, but he's steady as Priam Olim. 'Twas he was a decent gay labouring youth. Sharpen his pillow scone, take up his beer. Ere where in this world would ye hear such a den again? With their deep brow fundings and the dusty fidelios, they laid him brow down a long last bed, with a apocalypse of finicky for his feet, and a barrow load of Guinness's for his head. Tea the total of the fluid, hang the twaddle of the fuddled. Oh! Hurrah! There is but young glee for the owl globe wheels in view, which is tautologically the same thing. Well, him a being so on the flounder of his bulk like an overgrown babbling. Let we peep. See, at home we'll see piggy aught platter plat. Hum? From Shopolis to Bilk, or from Ashton to Baranoth, or from by the banks around the head, or from the foot of the bill to Eriglin's eye, he calmly extensiles, and all the way a horn. From fjord to fjell, his bay winds obobo shall wail him rockbound, ho ho ho, and swam in all the livy long night, the dale dappling night, the night of blurry bells, her flit of flute and tricky trochees. Oh, Karina, wake him, with her Essavans and her Patterjack Martins about all them ins and ouses, tilling a teal of a tum, telling a toll of a teary turdy tobbling, grace before glutton, for what we are, gifts to gross if we are, about to believe, so pull the bag and pass the kish for cross sake, amen, so sighs. Grandpa Puss has fallen down, but Grindy spreads the board, waste on the joint of a desh, fin fo foam, the fush. Waste be his bacon head, a loaf of Sing Pantry's Kennedy bread, and waste hitched to the hop in his tail, a glass of Dan O'Donnell's of foremost old double and ale. But lo, as you would quaff off his fraud stuff and sink teeth through that pith of a flower-white bodie, behold of him as behemoth, for he is no wimo. Finish. Only a photograph of a yestern scene, almost Rubicon Salmasalar, ancient from out the ages of the Agapemenides, he is smolten in our midst, woe be canned and packed away, so that mule's dead off for a summon, schluck, schleiss, and good rit hearing.